is It Hexproof. That's right, Hexproof has existed for a long time, but it wasn't keyworded until much later on in the game. So older cards that were worded like how Hexproof functions were later on errata to have the keyword Hexproof. What? There are some cards that look like they're hexproof, but are actually not, so let's see if you can guess them right. We'll start off with the card that I think a lot of people are familiar with. Is this errata to be hexproof? I'm sure a lot of you have experienced how annoying this card is. It does grant hexproof. Future Sight was a weird set, so is Imperial Mask errata to be hexproof? Future Sight is a weird set, but this is hexproof. Next card, does the enchanted creature have hexproof? This card is not errata to say hexproof. What about this card? Does the enchanted creature have hexproof? You might have thought that I'm trying to fake you out with the last one, but this also doesn't say hexproof. If you paid a little attention earlier in the video, you might know the answer to this one. This set is the first instance of where hexproof started. Has Vines of Vastwood been errata to hexproof? Vines of Vastwood is the only instant that can do this. Another weird Future Sight card. Is this errata to be hexproof? Future Sight was an interesting set, and unlike Imperial Mask, this is not hexproof. A lot of interesting cards came out of the Lorewind block, so is Drove of Elves errata to be hexproof? Lorewind block had a lot of interesting cards, but this does say hexproof. Now, some of you might be wondering, what makes this functionally different from hexproof? Well, the major difference is when it comes to targeting your opponent's permanents. You see, when it comes to something gaining keyword abilities, it is that thing that is gaining that ability, and therefore the controller of that thing will gain the benefits of that. But Vines of Vastwood is not granting that thing a keyword ability. It's changing the rules of the game so that the controller of this effect gets to modify how that thing is affected. So because this is your effect that you resolved, your opponents can't target that creature with spells or abilities. So if your opponent targets their creature with an aura and then you target this with a Vines of Vastwood, well, they are your opponent and they are trying to target this, which is an illegal target. So something like Canopy Cover is a nightmare for Voltron players because they can no longer target their stuff because you are their opponent and this is your Canopy Cover. Another small thing is that over the years, Wizards has given players tools to get around hexproof because it's a little bit of an annoying mechanic. But because this doesn't actually grant hexproof, something like Nowhere to Run does nothing against this. So just keep in mind that sometimes reading the card doesn't always exactly explain the card.